Bud, I kind of like, he convinces me that he's going to win the fight because he's such a believer in his own ability, and he's very convincing. And then you see the presser yesterday, and I thought Canelo looked really well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, he's a big.
Crawford to win this fight.
Why is that? What changed?
Because I know Crawford. He's got the heart. He's got the speed, the skills, and he's gonna go out there. I was thinking he put up a good first 6 rounds, but then Canelo will start picking it up. But now I think Crawford will go for the. I think Crawford will get. I'm picking Crawford to win.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. You know, big weight jump. They just like somebody's got to prove to me they can break Terence Crawford and that he can't figure it out against you. It ain't no disrespect to Canelo, but I've said this last couple of times, not being against Terence Crawford. You got to show me what you can do.
The boxing world is buzzing with concern, as many believe Canelo Alvarez may be nearing the end of his reign. In the build-up to his clash with Terence "Bud" Crawford, analysts and former champions are increasingly backing the undefeated Crawford, who boasts a flawless 41-0 record and is moving up to weight classes from welterweight to super middleweight. A victory would make him the first male boxer in the four-belt era to become undisputed in 3 divisions. And insiders point to his technical brilliance and perfect record has clear advantages over Alvarez's declining output and advancing age, suggesting the Mexican icon could be on the verge of his downfall.
Everything is on Terence Crawford's side, all the legacy, meaning he only has the opportunity to win the belts. Saul only has an opportunity to defend them. Terence Crawford has an opportunity to be in a 5 division and the only person to win all 4 belts in 3 separate weight divisions. Why is Saul taking this fight? And I'm going to tell you why. Because there's some things in life more important than just the belts. And that 20-year career that Terence Crawford made, that all that he has, is very valuable. Very, very valuable. He had 1 foot out the game. And if he can be the man to defeat him, because remember, if Saul beats him, Terence Crawford was the first man to get all 4 belts in 2 separate weight divisions. Yes, I beat that champion. Yes, I beat the multiple division champion. And
Boxing's elite are throwing their support behind Terence "Bud" Crawford, with legends like Floyd Mayweather Jr. hailing him as the sport's true pound-for-pound king, praising his unmatched ring IQ and adaptability. Andre Ward has also highlighted Crawford's blend of strategic brilliance and razor-sharp timing, reinforcing the growing belief that Bud possesses all the tools necessary to dethrone Canelo Alvarez.
But in terms of his resume, the opponents that he fought, right? And people say he fought this name and fought that name. Where did he fight that name when he fought him? He 32. He coming off 2 losses. He 35. Kovalev, when he fought Kovalev was cooked. He wasn't the crusher. He wasn't the undefeated guy. He had lost that. And I'm not knocking the hustle, but you lose me when you start saying I'm the best fighter in the world. Or you lose me when you feel like you don't have to fight the best, but then everybody else got to fight the best. Canelo is a really good fighter, man. But you don't really know how good you are until you fight the other best. Like even Dimitri Bivol, the dude he lost to. You got to give him credit for going up in weight, but I feel like he miscalculated though.
You got Bud Crawford and Canelo. They're slated to fight in September.
It's going to be an interesting fight. Honestly, it's kind of 50-50 in my opinion. Obviously, Canelo's got the weight and natural size advantage, but Bud's very technically skilled and sharp. Yeah. So it's going to be a good fight.
Former unified middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik laid out a sharp game plan for Terence Crawford, emphasizing the importance of applying non-stop pressure right from the opening bell. He advised Crawford to secure at least 3 of the first 4 rounds to disrupt Canelo Alvarez's rhythm and gradually wear down his stamina. Pavlik pointed out that once Alvarez is forced out of his comfort zone, fatigue often begins to show by the 7th round. He also recommended that Crawford switch frequently between orthodox and southpaw stances to keep Canelo guessing and make the Mexican star feel like he's constantly playing catch-up. Back in January 2024, Pavlik stressed these tactics as the keys to Crawford's success.
Canelo's ass a little early on, put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds, because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivol. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo could control the fight and the ring generalship, like, yeah, he can fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance-wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on, you know, the early rounds and make him have to play catch-up in rounds 3, 4, 5. And then by round 7, that's where, you know, he can really step it up.
Former 2-8 world champion and now analyst Tim Bradley threw his full support behind Terence Crawford over Canelo Alvarez, ranking Crawford's skill set among the greatest in boxing history, while praising his speed, power, timing, and adaptability. Bradley expressed confidence that Crawford could win even at super middleweight, hinting at a mysterious secret advantage he believes gives Bud the edge, though he refused to elaborate. For Bradley, this isn't mere speculation but a firm conviction that Crawford's unique skill set and adaptability will overwhelm Canelo, potentially signaling a historic turning point in the sport.
One thing, it don't matter if Canelo is on that. He ain't beat no Terence Crawford. You heard it here first. Plus, I look at the performances of Canelo. I look at his last performances. I mean, they've been all right, you know. It ain't been like, you know, wow, you know, blew me away. So I'm not really worried about all of that. And the same thing goes with Crawford. I know he's with Snack, and I know some news came out this week and all of that, but I personally believe that Snack is clean. I think it's a conflict of interest, the fact that, hey, he knows how to beat the system, quote unquote, Mr. Conte, but at the same time, I think Snack, you got products going around the world, this and that. I mean, all these athletes are testing. They're not testing anything or positive or using Snack at all, so I think it's safe. There's no doubt about it. So with that being said, I'm not worried about that. As long as they're testing, I'm good. Canelo is so predictable, dude. You know a hook is coming. You know when the right hand is coming. You know he's going down to the body. He gives it away. There's a tail with him. It really is. And it's usually off the high guard. He comes in, he marches forward, then boom, Crawford's gonna be able to see all of that. He's too knowledgeable inside the ring. His IQ is too high. If he can avoid the shots, avoid the big bum, and not get knocked out, he can outbox Canelo. It doesn't matter. He don't have to knock him out. He can outbox him, outpoint him. So, that's my opinion, bro.
Former two-division champion and respected analyst Sean Porter echoed similar views, highlighting Terence Crawford's adaptability and pinpoint precision while acknowledging the danger of enduring Canelo Alvarez's power over 12 rounds. Porter admitted concern about Crawford absorbing Canelo's relentless pressure and devastating left hook, noting that while Crawford has handled heavy hitters in the past, Alvarez presents a different kind of threat. However, he also pointed to Canelo's tendency to fade in the later rounds, stressing that if Crawford can survive the early storm, his chances of victory increase dramatically.
Say like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, you know, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he still got that kind of steam. But, you know, there's so many components that make a champion. There's so many components that make a great, a legend. It's just so much to go into. It's a conversation that lasts an hour easily when we talk about all of the components that Terence Crawford has, all of the components that Canelo had, and how we find how they even out and who trumps one another. You know what I mean? We tried to do that with Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and we see how that panned out. You know what I mean? So talk about conditioning. It ain't no secret. We all can look and say, yo, right around 9 rounds is when Canelo starts to really decline, and his punch output, statistically, look at it, punch output just significantly dives. This fight, what we didn't see from Canelo, because he didn't have to do it, we didn't see him fight in spurts. He's gonna fight in spurts against Terence Crawford. Terence is gonna challenge him both offensively, defensively, and also not only challenge that, but challenge that gas tank.
That's very much. See, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to question Crawford. You don't have to question.
And what do we know about Bud? Bud got it at the end of the fight.
Stephen A. Smith, speaking on Andre Ward's All the Smoke podcast, boldly predicted that Terence Crawford will outpoint Canelo Alvarez with superior movement and ring IQ, while he acknowledged Canelo's greatness and devastating knockout power. Smith argued that Crawford's speed, versatility, sharp jab, and seamless stance switches give him the tools to outbox Alvarez over 12 rounds. He stressed that although Canelo is comfortable at the weight and carries dangerous power, the key to victory lies in Crawford's ability to use agility and technical brilliance to win on points.
I think my initial reaction would be to say that I think that Crawford would be the superior boxer, as great as Canelo is, as seasoned as he is, with 65 fights, if I recall, on his record. I think boxing-wise, he's going to give Canelo fits. Don't believe he can hurt Canelo. Just believe that Crawford hasn't been in the ring with anybody this powerful. Again, Crawford is the superior boxer. But if he can't hurt Canelo, he can't keep him off of him. He says it's a legacy fight. He believes he can do the same, and he wants to do the same against a fighter the caliber of Canelo Alvarez, which is why we haven't really seen him in the ring against anybody else. Fortunately, that's the business of boxing. He's a victim of it, not a villain.
You got a love for boxing.
Yes,
Who
love
gonna
boxing.
win the fight, man? That's coming up. The biggest
Crawford.
fight in boxing.
Crawford.
Huh?
Crawford. I'm not hesitating. Crawford. I'm not even hesitating. Crawford.
You gonna stand on that all the way to September 13th?
I love Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo. Crawford will beat Canelo by decision. I can't see anybody knocking out Canelo Alvarez. But I do believe that if you can box and you can move, that you can beat Canelo. You can outpoint him.
That's right.
When I think about Canelo, one of the things that I don't like about Canelo, despite his greatness, and a neck as wide as Broadway for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like almost every shot has to be a power shot.
It's a power shot, yeah.
That's not beating Crawford. I will confess, I think Gervonta Davis's trainer, Cal, I think he said this. He said Crawford could find himself in trouble if he decides to engage with Canelo, because Canelo is the naturally bigger, stronger fighter. And I don't care that Crawford's gotten bigger, and I don't care that Crawford's gonna go in there just as big as Canelo. Canelo is accustomed to fighting at the weight, and Crawford is not. And Canelo is a genius in this regard. You don't see him show up for fights not ready. He's always ready.
always prepared.
He's always
You gotta
ready.
get
He's
him
always prepared. So I think he's the slower fighter though. And I think that Crawford is brilliant as a boxer. And I think that between switching to conventional and southpaw, using his jab and movement, I think that Crawford is going to outpoint Canelo because he's faster. But I don't think he's gonna.
Even former two-division British champion Amir Khan, one of the few fighters to have shared the ring with both men, strongly favors Terence Crawford to defeat Canelo Alvarez. Drawing from his own experience, Khan emphasized Crawford's elite boxing IQ, sharp footwork, elusiveness, and deceptive power qualities that made him extremely difficult to hit during their 2019 clash. In contrast, Khan noted that while Canelo's legendary power is undeniable, he found Alvarez easier to land on, leading him to believe Crawford's superior movement and timing could make this matchup dangerously one.